Hey, Cassandra. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. You're early, but that's great. Good for you and good for me. How did the field trip go today?
It was good. It was really good. I think the kids got a little antsy. It was the tour was like about an hour long. And so close to the end they were getting kind of antsy just sitting there watching the screen.
How
So
did that work? Who was
uh,
there
so
filming and
so what they ended up doing, and it wasn't the farm like that we have adopted a calf on. It was another farm up in New York. And so what they did is they had a lady that was hosting it, and
was this in real time, synchronous?
it was.
Mhm.
And so she was hosting it. She was taking questions through the chat feature of Zoom,
Uh-huh.
and she had a lady. The only part that they pre-recorded was the part where they showed the milking parlor.
Uh-huh.
And so they pre-recorded that, but then other than that, they showed inside the barn and the cows eating, where they sleep, and then she was answering questions through the chat feature.
Any of your kids live on farms?
No,
No.
none of them said anything. They have I think there might be a couple that know a little bit just because
Mhm.
they read it before, but
Uh-huh.
none of them actually have like physical experience
Okay.
with farm animals.
Interesting. And you're
Yeah.
adopting a cow that at another place?
Yep, and it's through the Discover Dairy, and it's so we adopted a cow. They're in King Mountain. So if it had been a normal year, then we probably would have been able to plan a field trip
Go there.
there. Um, but that's okay. So they'll give us updates weekly. Um,
Mhm.
the calf, she has not been born yet. So we're waiting on the email to say that our calf has been born. But we did get a little stuffed animal to keep
Ooh.
in the room. And so the kids really enjoyed meeting this little cow today, and we did a Google form, and they got to decide what they think they might want to name the cow.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna do a vote for the top 5, um, and see
And
what.
there is a tie-in with curriculum here, right?
Well, it's in the fifth grade teachers decided to do it, so it's in
Uh-huh.
with science.
Uh-huh.
Today we did physical change.
Uh-huh.
We made butter.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we tied in there from making butter from
How,
the
how did that go?
It was fun. They really enjoyed it. We put them in partners so that one wouldn't get too tired shaking, because you have to shake it for quite a while. But they really enjoyed it, and then they got to eat it on some bread, and that was fun for them. So it was a good interactive day that they had.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, I assume you've had time to read the
Yes, I did
last
yesterday.
report.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 2 of them on there. Have you been writing responses to those reflections too
I
and
have.
putting them on the form?
I have.
Good. Send,
On I don't think on this form. I've been doing the questions. That's the reflection.
okay.
And I can put them back on here, but I've been doing the reflection piece.
This is apparently a running form that we both need to fill out and respond
Okay.
to, and then that's going to go into task stream at the end.
Okay.
So uh, anyway, this is the format we're using, and there it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It is very close to the TPAI, the teacher performance appraisal instrument that you'll have as a teacher. So I think it's prepping you with the same lingo and
Okay.
trying to. And this is the kind of stuff that I'd be looking for as a principal, to be honest, Cassandra. So I was encouraged or excited to hear that the assistant superintendent popped in.
She did. Yeah.
Did you get any feedback from her, like, written, anything in writing?
We didn't. I guess it was just kind of like a school visit. She was just kind
Mhm.
of walking around classrooms, and she
Would
stayed
she remember your name
about
and be
5
able
to
to
10 minutes.
Does she know
I don't
your
really
name?
know
And
if she does or not, because I've seen her before, obviously, because I work here and she's been around, but
uh-huh.
I don't know if she necessarily knows who I am. I know that Dr. Reeder at the beginning of the school year, principal, whenever she had first came around, she was like, "Hey, this is Miss Parker. She works here, but she's student teaching this year." So she had kind of told her, what was happening.
Good.
So,
Your principal is your gatekeeper, Cassandra.
mhm.
I don't know if I've said this to you this semester, but at the end, I have to sign off as university supervisor, but ultimately your CE has to sign off, and your principal has to sign also to say,
Right,
Cassandra is ready to be a teacher in North Carolina. And
right.
so these people are very important in your life, and gatekeeper is the term that I use. You both want to, be careful about anything that you do or say, but also use those folks as your champions.
Yes.
So if the assistant superintendent happened on a walkthrough to come through, I hope, maybe you could write an email to her and say, "Hey, I hope you remember my principal introduced me as a student teacher. Thank you for popping in my classroom," and
Okay.
copy your principal on it. And
Okay.
just, thanks for popping in the room. Excited that you could see me teach
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Um,
Absolutely.
that's not a bad thing to do. And if it comes to a position in another school, maybe the super again can help you. So
Okay.
be smart about that.
Okay.
But that's not this. I gave you feedback on both the
Mhm.
reading and the science lesson, and again, they're fine. They are at least proficient in every respect. And thank you for cueing me with the actual RL5 reading objectives, quote,
Mhm.
text to support inference. I could have looked that up myself. I probably should have. But that was a fun lesson. I love the way you engaged the kids. The dialogue at the beginning was cool. And then this is what we call realistic fiction. So the
Mhm.
fact that they should be able to know nerds and bullies and other
Yeah.
characters from their real life experience was great. I thought the
Yeah,
way
they're
you
really
launched that.
enjoying it.
Does each kid have a copy of the text?
We have actually received a lot of donations of books and we've been able to pass them out. So they do now.
They do
The,
now.
the video
That,
that you saw was day one and they did
right.
not have them yet.
Yeah.
But they do now.
That's critical when we're teaching reading.
Mhm.
The text is anyway,
Oh,
whether
absolutely.
it's electronic. I think it's fabulous that your whole class has Chromebooks.
Mhm.
Whether it's electronic or the physical text or whatever, it's pretty important. Are the kids assigned reading? They have independent reading to do?
Like, what do you mean
Are
independent?
you reading the whole book to them?
Yes, I am. It's
You are.
it's all read aloud, and then they
Okay.
follow along, and we have class discussions about it.
Right.
And then they have reading reflections that they do, and they do like this week. Every day is not a reading day, so we're still covering the novel, uh,
Uh-huh.
but not every day we read. So, like
Okay.
today, we did compare and contrasting characters, and so they had to create Venn diagrams. Um, and so that was today, and then they don't have it tomorrow. We'll read again on Thursday. We're trying to get up. I don't know if you've ever read Because of Mr. Terup.
I do not know the book.
It's a wonderful book. It really, really is. And so
Uh-huh.
the climax peaks, and it's separated up into months. And
Uh-huh.
climax peaks in February. So we're doing our best to get through January and kind of leave the kids hanging
Uh-huh.
over Thanksgiving break. That
And
is that's our goal.
uh-huh. And
So we
if
will
I want to
read
read
December
ahead,
on Thursday. So
yeah. So what's to prevent me from reading ahead if I'm the
the
class
books are
nerd?
staying here.
Oh,
So they're not
mhm.
taking the books home. The books
Uh,
stay in the classroom.
uh-huh.
So
Keep
yeah.
them on pins and needles. Do
Yes.
they have other reading to do? Do they have reading logs? Do they have independent novels to read? No.
No, they've not been doing, we haven't been doing reading logs or independent reading.
Okay.
We just don't want to, at first it was, we didn't want to overwhelm them with stuff, with
Mhm.
it mostly, virtual learning. And with virtual learning and remote learning, we're limited as to how much we can assign. They're only
Uh-huh.
have 3 hours of work a day
Uh-huh.
here at home. And so we kind of started at not assigning as much and then kind of building from that. So we didn't want it to be too overwhelming, because if we were to assign them like independent reading, that would that would take away from that 3 hours that they're allowed to.
Well, I wish I've been able to spend more time in your classroom and get to know your kids better, but I have an inkling there may be one or two who are ready to read the rest of Mr. Terrabin,
Mhm.
and some who probably are reading novels on the
Oh
side.
yeah, absolutely.
And anyway, yeah, re reading logs and encouraging outside. That's what I had. I would often do is in middle school is ask reading teachers to let the kids keep a novel on the desk. You
Mhm.
got 2 minutes of downtime while everybody's laptop boots up the next game. You know, read your book. Read your book
Okay.
quietly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that worked. That worked in my middle school for a while.
Yeah.
Will reading logs be collected and assessed? If so, what's the criteria? How do you know? What the
They
criteria was, did they quote the text to support the inference? I'm curious whether you collected the logs or checked those, read
So
them.
what we're doing is at the end of this week, I will like, because I stay in the classrooms. At the end of this week, I will read through them, uh,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm in the process now, since I got your feedback, of creating a rubric that I'm going to give each kid, and then that way, from this point forward, they can follow that rubric as to what is expected,
Great.
um, for their writing.
Great. But again, if it was to quote text to support inference, did they use the text? Did they
Hmm.
support their guess or their inference with a quote from the text? It's not, rocket science. You can or
Right.
don't have to have a rubric or an actual checklist. I don't think, but you know, some kind of check behind and feedback to the kids. You got it. Hey, great quoting the text or whatever. uh,
Right.
it's proven to again help kids do better when they get that kind of specific feedback. Thanks.
Right.
Maybe if you haven't chosen a lesson to video for this week, maybe choose the reading lesson and
Okay.
show me what you're using to assess whether the kids have gotten the big idea, the objective for the day. A little formative check. Again, it doesn't have to be a rubric or anything fancy, Cassandra,
Hmm.
but here's what we're going to pick out today. And I think I saw theme. I think I saw character study. I forget. What are you doing Thursday in reading? Do you remember?
Thursday is we're reading December. I would have to look back at my
Uh, I
plan.
got it here
So
somewhere if I
I
can
know we're
find it.
reading December. Um,
Here we go. Is this right?
yes. So I think it talks about different situations. Yeah. So it talks about different
Thursday,
situations and how
December,
characters respond differently
and how has a character in the book solved a problem? How did another character solve it differently?
to
Um,
problem and solution.
yeah, it, here's my suggestion.
Okay.
Video that one, write it up, or
Okay.
send me whatever your prompt is for the reading log. I've got it right here. Um,
Okay.
I'd love next week to talk with you about the data. Send me a screenshot of the kids' log or two, and
Okay.
see if they can show how the character solved the problem
Okay.
and your feedback to them. I'd love to complete this loop a la Ed TPA of here's the objective, here's the lesson, here's the assessment. How did it go? So let's
Okay.
do that one more time and
Absolutely.
uh, pick whatever lesson you want. But if that reading works on Thursday, do it.
Okay.
Cool.
Wonderful. Yep. We
Do
can
you
do
have
that.
global awareness in some lesson somewhere?
Um, Honestly, with global awareness, we've just been doing CNN 10.
Right,
Um,
right. I've seen that in the lesson plans. You're supposed to make more videos, or not make more, but incorporate video in your portfolio presentation.
mm-hmm.
And there is a global awareness piece.
Okay.
if you can invent one or make one, well, global awareness to me starts in my own backyard. So I think that the
Yeah.
cow thing is,
I mean, I
is
recorded the virtual lesson or the virtual field trip today just because I do have to have pieces to go in my video that I'm creating. So,
look
um,
at the global awareness objectives or the piece for the portfolio, and I bet there is something from the virtual field trip that'll work.
okay,
Okay.
wonderful.
So after this week, after another observation for me, you do need to put together your portfolio with the
Mm-hmm.
philosophy statement and the video and all of the stuff. Do you know
Right.
what that stuff is? The
I
checklist?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I have a checklist that I'm working on, and I've got my portfolio. I would say probably 2/3 of the way finished. So I'm still working on some pieces to put in there, but
Okay.
most part I've got everything that I need. I do have to do my the video, and I've been waiting to do that till last.
Do you see this on the screen now?
I do, yes.
Okay. Yeah, the philosophy statement. And I was an English teacher. I'm not a bad writer, I don't think. Send me a draft if you want, and I'd be glad
Okay.
to mark it up and give you feedback on that. The
Okay.
video, the web page, you're supposed to have these technology links and stuff. You've been doing a lot with technology, so
Hmm.
I don't think that's an issue. Um, web page. We have not talked at all about classroom management. Now, your teacher sits right down front, and there are no problems ever that I've ever seen in any of your videos.
Our class is really, really good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You're supposed to show some evidence that you have a classroom management plan.
yeah, and we use Class Dojo. So they get points for Class Dojo.
Okay.
We just started doing a new incentive for classroom behavior, which we really don't have problems, but
You
it was
don't.
just something fun that we decided to do. We're doing desk pets. And so they're basically these little the erasers that you can buy. Our kids love these.
Uh-huh.
They're just like the little itty bitty erasers that you can get.
Cool.
We created these little houses that they have at their desk. And then if they have met the goal for that week and we change the goal each week, then they will earn a trip to pick out a class pet and they put it in a desk pet and they put it in their little house. And then at the end of the 9 weeks, they'll get to take them home. So, and they've really,
You know, you're supposed to comment on your plan and how it has worked and stuff. Maybe from the dojo and the stuff that you're describing,
Mhm.
I'm going to trust that you can meet this. Again, I haven't seen any issues.
Yeah, no,
You, you are
they're really good actually. So,
you are to reflect on the school improvement plan and comment on it. I've seen it. Thank you. Um,
mhm.
Professional, you want to comment on professional development. Here's the global awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there's some of those things that you're going to need to work on. You're supposed to get out and observe some others. Do you have any
Mhm.
thoughts about that?
I am. Do we know what day my portfolio presentation or when it's due is?
No, no, I
Okay.
don't.
Because
I can.
I began giving back the class this week. She took
Uh-huh.
back science, and then next week she'll take back math. And then so the week after Thanksgiving, she takes the class back fully. And so I was thinking that was the week that I would be able to get in some of my other observations, is the week after Thanksgiving. But I just don't know when my portfolio presentation is because I know I need to include those in my portfolio.
Um, get them in soon and next week if you can. I think
Okay.
it's going to be the first week in December, but I that'll come from Dr. Wesson or Dr.
Okay.
Subtle, somebody else besides me. Somebody further up the food chain decides that. I have to have grades in on the 10th of December, and
Okay.
it's typically the first week in December, the portfolio presentations, I think.
Okay.
I haven't I haven't seen a date for that yet, Cassandra. So anyway, I was shooting for you to have everything done by the end of November because
Okay.
I was
I mean, I
hopeful
can,
that we wouldn't have kids sick and everything falling
yeah.
apart.
I can shoot for that because I mean with her taking over 2 of the subjects next week, then I can always leave after I teach reading and then go to another classroom and observe a block or 2.
Uh, do it next week if you can. That'd be my
Okay.
suggestion.
Okay. Absolutely.
And if you shoot to have everything done by November 30th, you'll be ahead of the portfolio
Okay.
presentations, whatever they are. The third, second, third, fourth, I'd be surprised if it's not
Okay.
in there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. I can do that then.
Okay. That's what I had for today. Do you have any questions for me? I didn't talk about the science lesson at all. It was a review lesson.
It
I hate that you
was.
didn't get to do that lab.
I know.
That's some cool hands-on science.
Yeah, it
Letting
really
kids
is. And I hate they didn't get to
roll
do it
things down
too.
ramps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you do get to do that lesson someday and that I do get to see something like that. Send me another video for this week. The reading lesson would be great.
Okay.
And take it from there. And again, after we're done our piece, you just need to focus on the portfolio. And there's pieces that have to go in. I'll submit a grade in Blackboard that's going to be based on the work that you submitted to me. And then there's other pieces that have to be submitted into TaskStream. You have a TaskStream account?
I do.
Okay. That'll again be after portfolio. We'll clean up all of that stuff. And I don't even know what some of it is, but we'll figure it out together and get her done. And then
Sounds
all
good
of that,
to me.
and then by the end of, you don't let go of me until in December we've punched the button on saying licensure recommendation.
Okay.
IHE is the form we all sign.
Okay.
I sign, and Ms. Norton signs, and your principal sign. We'll get her done.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you so
Take care.
much. Okay. Bye.
Bye.